I got a comment on one of my dash cam videos asking, "Where's the sound? Where's the music or something?" All right. Well, here are two thoughts. Here are two thoughts that I had on this day. Um, Not actually true. It was the next day, and I'm recording this the day after that. Um, so the first thing is how our culture has changed to achieve sort of the modern stability and security that we have now that we didn't have back when we were hunter gatherers, when there were all these different threats and stuff. And now we've got things like medicine. You're not going to. In some parts of the world, you no longer have to worry about being raided by another tribe. Um, and so we've created these civilizations, these societies that protect us from the threats of yesteryear to our well-being. That's kind of bullshit, isn't it? Like, I was just thinking about, I often, when I leave my vehicle, for instance, I am terribly panicked. Oh my gosh, if I come back and let's say I've taken Neo, so Neo's not there to defend the vehicle, and I come back and my computer's missing or my hard drives are missing. Oh, and I've had hard drives stolen in the past, not from this vehicle, but just in life, and it feels like my life is over. It's like, oh, that work is gone, and anyway. So I was thinking about some of the things that would give me the feeling of my life being over. Of course, maybe I'm a little bit, I've got some anxiety and some catastrophic thinking tendencies. Um, but there are quite a number of things. Theft of my home, my vehicle, which is my home, theft of my hard drives, damage to the vehicle if I was in a car accident, and I'm driving across Europe. And so all of these things are things that are far from impossible that scare me on a kind of a daily basis. And I was wondering about other people. And one thing that's great about me is that I'm not dependent on my own 9 to 5. I'm dependent on my mom's 9 to 5. So if I'm not worried about not finishing this project and losing my job, and oh gosh, but my mom is, and other people are. If you lose your job, and if for some reason there's a possibility you won't be able to find it, or it's not as easy to find another one, then well, damn, that could be your home gone. You got all these bills and all that. So I don't know how much. I think the daily threats and reminders of threats to our well being, our stability, and our security, when you compare that to yesteryear, I don't know that it's as flattering as, or as, as. I don't know that it demonstrates the advantages of today's society as much as we might think on, as much as we may assume. Um, and I think people are also, people are more stressed. We're constantly, our stress hormones are going because we're constantly talking and we can be robbed in the subway. Anyway, all right. So we'll just think about that. The other thing I wanted to talk about was what I think I'm going to call the cock principle, which is an acronym COC for the cost of choice. If my computer is programmed such that every time I hit a key on the keyboard, um, it considers whether I meant that key or the key next to it. That adds a lot. That adds layers of processing. Um, Gosh, I can't abandon now, but I feel like I want to. because I did not plan to say it that way. All right, let me try to say it this way. I was thinking about ADHD. Someone asked me the other day whether, based on something I had said, they said, "So you think that ADHD like evolved, like it was an advantageous thing?" I said, "Of course. It's very advantageous to have those traits of novelty seeking and so on in the genetic pool, so that you have a few people in your tribe now and then who are gonna start to push some limits and be and here's the thing though. Here's the thing about that. Because those people, they have to be programmed to need to push those limits. Because if you're given the choice, well, most of our programming already is going to have us maintaining the status quo. Because that tends to be what's beneficial. So even if people had some impulse to sort of explore outside, if they don't have an absolute compulsion to do it, well, then they're likely not going to do it because there's already the social pressure and the compulsion of maintaining the status quo. And that's true for almost all traits. Is that things that are good to happen can't be just options. Gosh, I'm not making any sense here. And also I'm running out of time in this video. How do I say this in 25 seconds? Oh my gosh. Okay. Nature cockblocks. So if, because of the cost of choice, if there is a behavior that is advantageous for a community, then in order for that behavior to be produced, it has to be compelled. The person has to need to do it. Just like we need to eat, we need to have sex, and certain people with ADHD. All right, I gotta go. All right.